What if I told you that the chains of the past still echo in our present? Imagine chains, heavy chains. They are cold, unyielding, and relentless. They weigh you down, making every movement a struggle. These chains are not just physical, they are mental and emotional, binding your very essence. They bind your hands, your feet, your very spirit. They represent oppression, suffering, and a loss of freedom. They are the chains of slavery, a dark chapter in human history that left deep scars. Now imagine those chains breaking. The sound is deafening. It is the sound of liberation, of a long-awaited freedom finally being realized. The chains shatter, and with them, the weight of centuries of oppression. It is the sound of freedom. Juneteenth is that sound. It marks the day when the last enslaved African Americans in Texas were informed of their freedom, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. It is the day the chains of slavery fell away. It symbolizes the end of a brutal era and the beginning of a new chapter of hope and possibility. It is a day for celebration. Communities come together to honor this significant moment in history with music, dance, and joyous gatherings. It is a time to reflect on the progress made and the journey ahead. It is a day for remembrance. We honor the ancestors who endured unimaginable hardships and fought tirelessly for freedom. Their resilience and courage paved the way for future generations. Juneteenth reminds us of a painful past. It is a stark reminder of the atrocities of slavery and the long struggle for civil rights. It is a time to acknowledge the suffering and to learn from history. It also shows us the power of hope. Despite the darkness, there was always a glimmer of hope that one day freedom would come. That hope sustained generations and continues to inspire us today. It is a day to honor the strength and resilience of Black Americans. Their contributions to society, culture, and history are immeasurable. Their stories of perseverance and triumph are a testament to the human spirit. On this day, we celebrate the triumph of the human spirit. Juneteenth is not just a historical event. It is a living, breathing testament to the enduring fight for justice and equality. It is a reminder that, no matter the chains that bind us, the human spirit will always strive for freedom and rise above adversity. The story of Juneteenth begins long before that joyous day. It is a tale woven through the fabric of American history, marked by struggle, resilience, and the unyielding quest for freedom. The roots of Juneteenth stretch back to the very inception of the United States, a nation built on the ideals of liberty and justice, yet marred by the institution of slavery. It starts with the Emancipation Proclamation, a document that would become a beacon of hope for millions. This proclamation was not just a piece of paper, it was a powerful declaration that aimed to reshape the very foundation of the nation. President Abraham Lincoln issued it on January 1, 1863. With a stroke of his pen, he set forth a vision of a new America, one where the chains of bondage would be broken and the light of freedom would shine brightly. It declared that all enslaved people in Confederate states were to be freed. This was a bold and unprecedented move, a direct challenge to the very core of the Confederacy's social and economic structure. This was a momentous occasion. The proclamation ignited a spark of hope in the hearts of the enslaved, a promise that their long night of suffering might finally be coming to an end. It was a turning point in the Civil War. The proclamation not only aimed to free the enslaved, but also to weaken the Confederacy by depriving it of its labor force. It was a strategic move that added moral weight to the Union's cause. It was a promise of freedom for millions. The proclamation was a clarion call for justice, a declaration that the United States would strive to live up to its founding principles. However, the proclamation did not immediately free all enslaved people. The Civil War continued, and the reality of freedom was still a distant dream for many. The road to liberation was fraught with challenges and setbacks. Many slaveholders in Texas, far from the Union Army, ignored the proclamation. They clung to the old ways, defying the winds of change that were sweeping across the nation. It would take more than 2 years for freedom to reach Texas. On June 19, 1865, Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, to announce the end of the Civil War and the freedom of all enslaved people. This day, known as Juneteenth, marked the true beginning of freedom for many who had waited so long. It was a day of jubilation, a day when the promise of the Emancipation Proclamation was finally fulfilled. On June 19, 1865, everything changed. It was a day that would be etched into the annals of history, a day that would forever alter the lives of countless individuals. The air was thick with anticipation and uncertainty as the winds of change began to blow through the heart of Texas. Union General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas. His presence was a beacon of hope, a symbol of the new era that was dawning. He carried with him a message that would resonate through the ages. He came with news. The Civil War was over. The Confederacy had lost. The long and bloody conflict that had torn the nation apart had finally come to an end. The Union had prevailed, and with its victory came a promise of freedom and equality. General Gordon Granger, General Order Number 3. This order was more than just words on paper. It was a declaration of a new beginning. It was the key that would unlock the chains of bondage that had held so many in captivity. It announced the total freedom of enslaved people in Texas. The news was met with a mixture of emotions. There was joy, there was disbelief, and there was a cautious optimism. For many, it was a moment they had dreamed of but never thought they would see. This day, June 19th, became known as Juneteenth. It was a day of celebration, a day to honor the resilience and strength of those who had endured so much. It was a day to remember the past and look forward to a brighter future. The news spread like wildfire. From town to town, the message of freedom was carried on the lips of those who had longed for this day. It was a time of great change, and the impact of this announcement was felt far and wide. Imagine the joy, the disbelief, the overwhelming relief. Families who had been torn apart by the cruel institution of slavery were now given the chance to reunite. Dreams that had been deferred were now within reach. For the first time, enslaved people in Texas could taste true freedom. They could walk with their heads held high, knowing that they were no longer considered property, but were recognized as human beings with rights and dignity. Juneteenth marks the end of slavery in the United States. It is a symbol of the long and arduous journey toward equality and justice. It is a reminder of the sacrifices made and the struggles endured to reach this point. It is a day of profound significance in American history. Juneteenth is not just a celebration of freedom. It is a testament to the enduring spirit of those who fought for their rights. It is a day to reflect on the progress made and the work that still lies ahead. As we commemorate this historic day, we honor the legacy of those who came before us and reaffirm our commitment to a future where freedom and equality are truly for all. Let's meet June. She's a young woman enslaved on a Texas plantation. June works long hours in the cotton fields. She dreams of freedom. June hears whispers of the Emancipation Proclamation. She clings to hope, yet fear lingers. Freedom seems like a distant star. June. Then Juneteenth arrives. General Granger reads the order. I'm overwhelmed with emotion. Tears stream down my face. I am finally free. June's story represents the experiences of countless others. Juneteenth is a celebration of their liberation. It is a testament to their enduring spirit. The first Juneteenth celebrations were spontaneous outpourings of joy. People gathered to sing, dance, and give thanks. They held religious services and shared meals. Juneteenth became a time for families to reunite. It was a chance to honor their ancestors. It was an opportunity to celebrate their heritage. These celebrations were more than just parties. They were powerful expressions of freedom. They were a way to reclaim their narrative. Over the years, Juneteenth traditions have evolved. Barbecues are common, with red drinks like strawberry soda symbolizing resilience. Readings of the Emancipation Proclamation are central to the day. Music plays a vital role. From gospel to blues to jazz, it expresses the soul of Juneteenth. Speeches and storytelling keep history alive. These traditions vary across the United States, but the core message remains the same. Juneteenth is a celebration of freedom and Black excellence. Today, Juneteenth is gaining more recognition than ever before. It is a time for reflection and education. Interviewee 1, it is a day to learn about the history of slavery and its lasting impact. Interviewee 2, Juneteenth is also a day to celebrate Black culture and achievement. It is a time to honor the contributions of Black Americans to the fabric of this nation. More and more communities are embracing Juneteenth. Interviewee 1, schools, businesses, and organizations are acknowledging its significance. While we celebrate, we must also remember the fight for equality is not over. We still face challenges. Systemic racism persists. We must continue to fight for justice and equality for all. Juneteenth is a reminder that freedom is precious. It is a call to action. We must work together to create a more just and equitable society for all. We must honor the legacy of Juneteenth by continuing the march towards progress. Juneteenth is more than just a holiday. It is a powerful symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring human spirit. It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, freedom can prevail. It teaches us that change is possible. It inspires us to strive for a better future. Juneteenth is a beacon of hope, not just for Black Americans, but for all Americans. As we commemorate Juneteenth, a day of historical significance, let us embrace its powerful message of unity and progress. Let us learn valuable lessons from the past and work together to create a future where all Americans are truly free and equal. Let us honor the enduring legacy of Juneteenth by building a nation where justice and equality reign supreme. Let us move forward together, hand in hand, united in our pursuit of a brighter and more hopeful tomorrow.